Hi kiddos, welcome back to another video of our Culinary Kits for Kids series. We really hope that you enjoy this week's recipes. But before we get into the fun cooking part, we want to give a special shout out to some incredible organizations and sponsors in our community. First of all, we want to give a special shout out and thanks to an incredible partner of ours who've been sponsoring us for years now, Whataburger. Without your support, we would not be where we are today, and we are so grateful that we have that shared mission of ending childhood hunger and food insecurity. Next, we want to thank Sprouts. It's a new sponsor of ours through their Community Grant Foundation. We are now able to serve even more food insecure children in our community. We are so grateful for your ongoing support. We look forward to what we can accomplish with the funding that we received. And we are so thankful to have a shared mission with somebody in the community about improving the lives of children through fruits and vegetables. And then lastly, we want to give a very sincere shout out to our local Walmart store, 5898. Your team is absolutely incredible. They're basically family to us. Without their support and volunteerism, we would not be able to serve the amount of kids that we do. They're an integral part of the whole process of preparing the culinary kits. So we want to thank all of you so much. And then kiddos, I hope that you enjoyed this week's recipes. Howdy kiddos, welcome to Culinary Kits for Kids. This week we have a totally tasty recipe. We are going to be making baked Parmesan yellow squash coins. Very simple. All you need is a yellow squash, which of course we will be providing you. You'll need a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. We do not, unfortunately, give the salt and pepper, but hopefully everybody should have it at home. If not, you can find salt and pepper for less than $1 at most places, unless it's H-E-B. And then you need 1/4 cup of Parmesan grated. And you know what? I love cheese. I may end up adding more. I don't know. But you will definitely be getting your cheese in your culinary kit. With your first kit, you will also be getting a cutting board, some measuring cups, and you should have gotten one of these guys. These are a kid-friendly knife, so you can't hurt yourself, okay? So first thing I did was I washed my yellow squash. It's important because whenever you buy them from the grocery store, they're not rinsed yet. You'll see some dirt. So you really want to make sure you just run it under water, maybe wipe it down with like a towel or a paper towel. So I'm going to take my knife and I want to cut off the end part, but I don't want to waste a lot of it. So I'm just going to cut off the part with this little thingamajiggy right here, right? Whenever you're cutting with these knives, make sure that you hold it kind of like this, where I have 3 fingers around the base of the knife. I have my index finger and my thumb holding on either side of the knife, okay? And then I'm going to cut, or I'm going to hold my squash steady, and then you want to use a seesaw motion going down. Beautiful. And then I want to cut the other end off, but you don't want to waste too much of it, so we're just going to cut just a little bit. Beautiful. Now I want to make my coins. You can make them as thick or thin as you want, right? The thicker they are, you may need more time in the oven because the squash you want it to be pretty tender with some browning. And I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this, and when we come back, they'll be ready to assemble. Okay, kiddos, so all of my squash is cut, and so we have our little coins. That's why the recipe calls them coins. So what I'm going to do is because I know I don't have too many coins, I took a round baking sheet. You can use actually a large rectangle baking sheet if you want to maybe use zucchini too. You can buy zucchini. They're 76 cents right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow squash and I'm going to evenly place it to where I can see all of them face up but not layered. Okay. So let's talk about yellow squash. What makes it yellow? Well, what makes it yellow is a little something called beta carotene. And you may be thinking vitamin A. Well, not necessarily. Beta carotene can become vitamin A but you need a lot of it. So let's just talk about why is beta carotene, so yellow vegetables, so good. Well, yeah, not only is there a lot of fiber in these, but that beta carotene has a lot of wonderful health benefits. Not only can it become vitamin A, which is really good for our eyesight, but we know beta carotene can help decrease the risk for certain cancers later in life if you have a family history. And it also plays a role in our skin health. So they're super tasty. You do get a lot of benefits from it. And what's nice about yellow squash is it's pretty mild. It's not too bold in flavor. So I have assembled it like this. If I tilt it anymore, it'll fall. But you want to have your oven set to 425 degrees, which ours is. And you're only going to bake it for like 15 to 20 minutes. So the first step is I put it in a cup because if I go with the shaker, I'm worried I'm going to get too much salt. Remember, Parmesan does have some salt in it. Sometimes. The process of actually making the Parmesan. But you just sprinkle it over the squash. And it's any salt you may have. If you don't want to use salt, you can use other seasoning, other spices, right? You don't have to. This is just something that I wanted to do. Okay. And then pepper. You just sprinkle it sparingly, and it gets a little messy. If you don't want to get your fingers messy, you can always use a spoon, but if you are going to use your fingers, please make sure to wash your hands, guys and girls and everybody, please. Right? We don't want to get sick because it's very easy to get sick from not washing our hands and then cooking. So let me just... Okay. You can add oil if you want. The recipe doesn't call for it, but there's nothing wrong with wanting some. I accidentally got a little bit much, but that's okay. I like pepper. So, last but not least, we're going to take our cheese. We actually want to put a thin layer on every coin, okay? So when we come back, I will have all of my coins covered in cheese. So now I have all of my coins covered in tasty Parmesan cheese. If you do have an allergy to milk or you want to make this for somebody in your family and they can't have the cheese, there are dairy-free cheeses on the market. And if you use the Parmesan, you find you don't like it, use whatever you'd like. You can use cheddar, you can use mozzarella, anything you'd like. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. And when we come back, they'll be all ready to try. Alrighty, so our coins came out of the oven. They're nice and beautiful brown. Some spots are a little bit darker, but that's okay. It said 15 to 20 minutes, but really once you start to get to the 15-minute mark, you can kind of eyeball it. I cooked it a little bit longer, but you can serve as is. This is a great side, even a snack. Or you can also add whatever seasoning you want on top. Italian seasoning, parsley, basil, whatever you like, right? And there you have it, friends. Whenever you try it, let us know what you think. You can always drop a comment in the video down below.